Hello, everyone. My name is Anne Phoebe, and I am the director of the Overseas Journeys for Groups at Executive Travel. I am here today to walk you through the travel documents for the upcoming Danube River Cruise journey. That's what I'm going to do. And let's jump right into it. I'll share my screen. So bear with me for 1 second while I do that, and we'll walk through page by page the travel documents that you will be receiving. If you haven't received them already, then they're on their way, both in the electronic format, but also in hard copies. So 1 moment, let me share my screen and make sure that everybody can see what we've got going here. So your travel documents starts, of course, with the cover page. The cover page, there is one important thing that we would like you to assist us with, even though we've looked at these documents probably 5, 6, 7 times. We want to make sure that we have your name 100% correctly listed on our end, and your name has to match your passport. This is the name that we have issued your airline tickets in. So if you just take a look at the cover page and make sure that the last name, first and middle name matches up with your passport. If you see something different here, let us know, give us a call, and we will get it corrected or confirm to you that everything is as should be. So just take a look at the cover page and the name here and let us know if you see something different from your passport. The table of content is exactly what I'm going to go through today. So I'm going to jump this page and go straight into page number 3 that features a map of where you are going to travel to. 5 countries, 1 river. Wow. Germany, Austria, Slovakia, Hungary. And then we end in the Czech Republic in Prague. Everybody flies into Munich. And we end our journey in Prague, in the Czech Republic. We've included a book here for you. Usually, if you travel with Executive Travel before, you know that we love our small guidebooks. It was pretty hard to find one book that covers 5 countries. So we chose to include the Top 10 Prague book here, which is a nice guidebook that gives you some extra information and just some nice maps about Prague as a city. This is where you end. You have your last overnights in Prague, so it might be just nice to have a little extra information about this magical city. Page number 4, I'm going to jump over that for just a minute. I'll return to it in a little bit, but the itinerary. So what we have included in your travel documents is some specific information about your pre-cruise land arrangements and your post-cruise land arrangements. So let's start with how we all begin this journey. Most of you will travel from St. Mark's United Methodist Church in Lincoln. We meet up there on Thursday, March 20th to join the private motor coach and travel up to Omaha Airport. We'll meet at the south side of the church, close to the entrance number 10. Things highlighted here in yellow on the next pages are things that we would like you to pay attention to. So there are certain things are highlighted in yellow, so just pay attention to those. Of course, we recommend that you read through everything that we have included, but some highlighted things here are definitely worth paying attention to. So we'll meet, most of us, at St. Mark's Church. If you're not able to be there, or if you want to drive, of course, yourself up to Omaha Airport and park your car there, you're welcome to do that. Just make sure that we know that ahead of time. So call us or let Rhonda Wagner, our host, know so that we are not waiting for you and we know that we'll find you and meet you at Omaha Airport. We'll drive up to Omaha. We have an afternoon flight out of Omaha, and we're going through Atlanta and then over to Charles de Gaulle, Paris, and then finally ending in Munich the following afternoon. What is very important is that you do not check in prior to your departure on March 20th. We have provided a copy of your flight's confirmation at the end of these documents. You'll also see your confirmation number there, your record locator. And yes, you can go online and you can start a process of checking in. But at a point of the check-in procedure, you'll be asked to show your physical passport, which you, of course, cannot do until you check in at the counters at Omaha Airport. All airlines, when you travel internationally, they need to see your physical passport, so an online check-in is not possible. Even if you have the Delta app on your phone or on your computer, and you get a notification that check-in is now open for you, you won't be able to check in ahead of time. It's very important also that you refrain from doing that, because everybody at the back end with Delta Airlines is connected in a group booking. And once you start fiddling around with your record locator, we have a risk of the booking being canceled. So you can imagine what would happen if somebody tries to go in and check in online or rearrange seating and suddenly push a wrong button and the group booking is gone. So please do not go in and try and book in online ahead of time. Do not try to change your seating. We have taken care of that. If you see something that you want to change, always give us a call. It's very, very important that you don't go online and try to change the reservation, because you're all connected together. So big red lights out here. Please don't do that. We have some travelers who will meet us at Atlanta Airport. It's 5 in total, and we also have 3 travelers who are meeting us in Munich. And I'm jumping one page back. This is exactly what page number 4 is referring to. It is who travels from where and when, and where we're going to meet up. Of course, when we arrive in Munich, we're going to meet Hildren. Hildren is a tour guide that some of you I know already knows from previous trips. She's a wonderful lady. We work with Hildren as a tour director and tour guide in Germany and Austria and Switzerland. My gosh, this entire area of mid-Europe for many, many years. I go back with Hildren for 15 years at least. So she is one of our grand ladies over in Europe, and we look forward to having her escort you and guide you through the trip. She'll be with you from the moment you arrive in Munich Airport on March 21st until you leave from Prague on April 1st. What we ask you to do is when you arrive at Munich Airport, of course, you're going to go through passport control, and then you get to the baggage claim area and grab your luggage, and then proceed outside to the arrivals hall. And this is where Hildren will be waiting for you. She'll be holding the executive travel sign. And we ask you all to wear, at least on the travel days, your blue lanyards. Those are important. It helps also Hildren to kind of recognize all of us. We are a big group, so it's very helpful if you could wear your lanyards, especially the first probably couple of days until everybody gets familiar with each other's names, but also for Hildren and for Rhonda Wagner to recognize you quickly, to see, oh, here's some of our group travelers. That would be really helpful. Going back here into page 5 and into the daily itinerary. So we're arriving in Munich in the afternoon, 5 o'clock. On Friday, March 21st. What we'll do once we gather and we've collected our luggage and we met with Hildren is we'll take our private motor coach, drive into the center of Munich and check into the hotel, and there is a little time to freshen up there before we take a short walk over to our restaurant for a welcome dinner. It's just a short walk, 8, max 10 minutes, strolling from the hotel. Maybe nice to get out, stretch the legs, get some fresh air, and we'll have a lovely dinner there and then walk back to the hotel, and it's time for good night. I bet everybody will be pretty jet lagged that first day and tired, ready for a good night's rest. The next day is the day of embarkation, but we have a couple of visits before we arrive in Wilshofen for the embarkation of Amalia, the Ama Waterways wonderful cruise ship. So firstly, we will take a tour of the BMW Welt, the BMW World. When we booked this trip more than a year ago, actually, we were able to get a slot for our group and enter the BMW World as a group. This has changed ever since, unfortunately, one of these things that we can't do much about. But what we have secured is a full informational guided tour from Hildren's side on the way to BMW World. And then you will have a 30-minute, half an hour to enter inside by yourself. That will allow you to also see the venue and enjoy it. There's a fun gift shop as well that you can buy some souvenirs already there if you like. We'll continue then to Regensburg. Regensburg is one of the oldest towns in Germany. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Beautiful, beautiful old town. We'll have time on our own there as well. Hildren will provide you with a guided walk of the old town, and then you have time for lunch in Regensburg before we board our motorcoach again and take about a good hour drive to Wilshofen, where we will embark on the Ammer Leer with Ammer Waterways. So a lot of things are going to happen during the week on board the ship. And Ammer Waterways is, I would dare to say, the best river cruise company in Europe. So you will really, really have an upscale experience with them. Everything that takes place on the cruise during the trip will be explained by the very professional Ammer Waterways staff. So we will be greeted, of course, by the cruise manager, by the hotel manager upon arrival. You will get all the information that you need to know and how things are flowing day by day during the cruise. The first evening there will be, they call it an Oktoberfest, even though we are in the springtime here, but there is an Oktoberfest fun evening on board the first night. All that information will be handed to you as you embark, and you get your staterooms. It'll go just step by step. Don't worry about it. Don't overthink anything. Just take it easy and enjoy every single day. Take a day at a time. Important here is to just relax and enjoy the cruise. At the end of these docs, we have included the electronic documents that we have received from Ammer Waterways. They go through a lot of information. Most of this is what I'm going to speak about today, but it's a good idea, of course, always to read through it. So you'll see that when we get to the end of the documents. But I'm jumping here from Saturday, March 22nd, when we embark on board the ship, to the day of disembarkation, which is the following Saturday, March 29th. And we will disembark, we'll have breakfast on board, and then, of course, Hildren is with you still, and we'll jump on our motorcoach, the private motorcoach that we have for you, and drive towards Prague. Now, we have some beautiful driving through the countryside this day, but we also have a stop in Budvar, and Budvar is the town in Czechoslovakia, or Czech Republic, where the original Budweiser beer was brewed and is still brewed, actually. So we'll have a stop there for lunch, and we have included a little extra surprise here. We will take a tour of the brewery, so you get to taste some good beer and have fun with that. It's a fairly small brewery, so you will be divided in two groups of approximately 21 people per group. And then just with a 10 minutes different slot, you'll enter the brewery and get a tour of that. In the late afternoon, evening, we will arrive to our Hotel Cosmopolitan, centrally located in Prague, and just for a relaxing evening and to kick back and unwind. The following day, we have our full day city sightseeing by foot in Prague with Hildren and 2 local step-on guides as well that will join us. We're going to go to see the castle, and we'll see a lot of the beautiful sights of Prague, bridges included. Prague is very famous for its bridges, and we'll see those, of course, as well. The evening is you're at leisure. We estimate we're back. We're done with our tour around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you can have a relaxing afternoon and evening there. Monday, our last day, is at your leisure, so you can do whatever your heart dreams of doing in Prague. Hildren is there to advise, give you hints and tips about what to do. Speak with Hildren about this. See what you feel like doing. Maybe you just want to go shopping. There will be a lot of Easter decorations already up in the shops. Maybe buy some last souvenirs there, but utilize Hildren for information about what to do. Museums, maybe an afternoon concert or anything like that. We have a wonderful farewell dinner. 6 o'clock, we'll walk to the farewell restaurant. It's just a 10 minutes walk from the hotel, and then enjoy a last night's dinner there. Following morning is the departure day. 2 couples, 4 people are going to stay in Prague for an extra overnight, but the rest of the group will return to the US. And we have time to enjoy breakfast that morning before we travel over to Prague Airport. It's a short drive from the downtown city center. Long day traveling back from Prague, again via Paris, Charles de Gaulle to Atlanta, and then to Omaha. And arriving in Omaha, we have our private motor coach taking us back to St. Mark's Church in Lincoln. One thing that's important to remember, again, something highlighted here in yellow, is if you have some local currency left and you want to buy something at Prague Airport, say maybe a nice hand lotion or a bottle of wine, anything fluid above 3.4 ounces, you'll get those in a sealed duty-free bag. Maybe you buy something in Paris as well because you have a stop in Paris. You will get the duty-free bag, the sealed bags, but it's very important when you get to Atlanta and you claim your luggage there and recheck it for Omaha, put those items into your checked baggage, because you're going to go through TSA again at Atlanta Airport. And if you have anything that's of more than 3.4 ounces, liquid, fluid, anything like that, it'll be discarded. So that would be a shame, carrying your duty-free, beautiful things back and then not be able to get it all the way back to Omaha. So make sure that you put it into your checked-in bags at Atlanta Airport. Rhonda will keep reminding you of that as well. She's traveling back with you, so she will remind you of this, but just be aware of that. I wanted to point that out here. Our schedule, of course, is subject to change. If anything happens, Hildren will be aware of everything that is going on. We don't foresee anything at all, but we're just mentioning it here that there could be just a slight change in times or something like that. You will get to know about that once you are there. Inclusions and exclusions of your program is exactly as we have promised you. No changes there. Except from the guided tour inside BMW World. We have exchanged that with the Budweiser Brewery. Anything else is exactly as per our tour brochure when you registered for the tour. So I'm not going to go through this in details. I do want to mention, though, that if there are days where you don't feel like participating in anything that we do, even if you have booked say a shore excursion, you're free to stay back. Nobody is enforcing you to do or follow our program. Of course, on traveling days, yes, please, we need to have you with us. But if, for example, you feel like I'm not gonna I'm going to skip the walking tour of Prague or anything like that. Just let us know, let Hildren and Rhonda know that you prefer to stay back and just enjoy your day on your own. You are absolutely allowed to do that. Following here 3 pages with the exact same information, it is our contact information, the contact information and addresses, phone numbers, and some links. Even if you click on those, they're active here. They link to your hotel information, websites. You will have Rhonda's Wagner's, your tour host from our side, executive travel tour host, her cell phone number is listed here. So is Hildren's phone number, and you have contact numbers to the team of ours at the office in Lincoln, the executive travel team here. Now you'll see that there is a plus in front of the United States numbers, the local numbers, +1, and for Hildren +49. Those are the country codes, and I will explain more about that when I get to the slide that explains about phone and cell phone service abroad. It's smart to put the +1 in front of the numbers that you want to use while you are gone, and for Hildren, store it on your phone so that you have it. +49 indicates that this is a German phone number. We have some quick facts to share with you for all the 5 countries. Most of them are applicable for all 5 countries. So here we go. Passport validity, 6 months beyond the date that you return from the Czech Republic, or for the ones extending, 6 months from the date of return from your last point in Europe. We have a copy of everybody's passport, so we are fine. We have checked that everything is okay, but these are the requirements. Also, 2 pages are required for entry stamps, and that is for Germany. So make sure that you have 2 empty pages. And I want to mention this on the other hand, don't be too disappointed if you don't get a stamp in your passport. Some airports tend to not stamp anymore for some reason, but 2 pages are required for entry stamps. No visas are required for American citizens for stays under 90 days in Europe, so we're completely fine there. No vaccination requirements anymore. There is a limit of how much cash, and that is in euros, that you can bring into Germany and leave from the Czech Republic with. And it's limited to 10,000 euros in cash. We don't believe anybody's going to carry that much cash. I'll go through cash and credit cards and money in a few minutes. But these are the limits for how much cash you can bring in and out. We've listed the U.S. embassies in Germany and in Prague. During the cruise, of course, should you need the embassy for any reason, you just contact the personnel on board, the crew on board the ship, and they will assist you with anything that you may need an embassy for. Health and emergency health medical care is offered in all 5 countries of a very high standard. Most likely, if something, a knock on wood, should happen, God forbid, you will be taken to a private clinic, and all those clinics and the medical care is of a very high standard. Nothing to worry about there. We do recommend that you have travel insurance, of course. I have noticed that quite a few have not signed up, at least with us, for purchasing a travel insurance. We highly recommend it. Not only should something happen, to you during the journey, but also to family members at home. Travel insurance will assist with getting you back home, and they will cover for the costs. It can be very pricey to suddenly have to leave a trip and travel back home. So speak to us about it if you haven't got the travel insurance yet. Give us a call and let's see what we can do for you. Emergency services. If you need an ambulance, the police, or anything in an emergency situation, you're out on your own, the number to dial is 112, so 112, and you do not need to put any plus a country code in front of the 112. You simply dial 112, 112, and you get in contact with the local police or medical services. They do speak English, so shouldn't be a problem. Hopefully it's not going to be used by anyone, but just wanted to mention this. We also recommend that you enroll in the STEP program, and the STEP program is the Smart Travelers Enrollment Program. It's a program provided by to all US citizens when you travel abroad. Have you enrolled in it before? You need to re-enroll for this journey, because when you enroll into the STEP program, you enroll only for your coming trip. So if you have provided, of course, information for a previous trip, the information is not valid anymore. It's very easy. You can go online. You'll be asked a few questions. They will ask you which countries you're traveling to, when you are there, and some contact information from you as well. This is meant to be an extra layer of security. So if the US government considers that you need to know something about an emergency situation, either in the country you're in or approaching, or maybe back home, they will send you a notification and alert. So we recommend that you enroll in the STEP program. Why not? It's free. So, extra layer of security. Why not do that? The currency. So on this wonderful journey, we have 3 different currencies to deal with. The euros are fairly easy, and euros are used in both Germany, Austria, and Slovakia. So the exchange rate is almost 1-to-1. You have a really, really good value for your money at this point in time. So it's easy to calculate. Just consider €1, $1. But we also have different currencies for Hungary and for the Czech Republic. In Hungary, the forint is used, and $1 is approximately is approximately 400 forint. In the Czech Republic, the currency used is called koruna, and $1 is approximately 25 koruna. Now, it can seem pretty overwhelming that on a trip to these 5 countries, you need to have 3 different currencies in your wallet. We recommend that you mainly use your credit card. So you can find ATMs everywhere. Make sure that you exchange money from an ATM that is connected to a bank. Hildren will assist you with that if necessary. There will be lots of tourist ATMs out and around wherever you go. They're normally lit up by yellow neon lights blinking, saying ATM foreign currency exchange or whatever they will highlight on their machines. The exchange rate is usually not very favorable. And there might be very high fees to use those types of ATMs. So make sure that you use a bank ATM instead. Speak to your bank before you leave. It's very important, highlighted also here in yellow, that you advise your bank that you're traveling abroad. The bank needs to know all the countries you're visiting, and bear in mind that you're also visiting France. You're going through the goal, and if you purchase anything at Paris airport, it's a good idea to advise your bank as well that you are also making a stop in France. Call the bank, ask them about fees, how to use your credit card abroad. If there is anything you need to know, maybe you have a special deal connected to your credit cards. We recommend that you use a credit card that has a chip on it. That is what is used mostly in Europe nowadays. Visa, Master, American Express, widely used everywhere. You can use your credit card on the ship as well. If you purchase anything at the gift shop of the boat, of the cruise ship, you can use your credit card. And we also recommend, of course, traveling maybe with a smaller amount of cash. So order some euros. You can use euros as payments in Hungary and in the Czech Republic. Again, if you use cash in the shops, they will take your euros, but the rate of exchange is not very favorable, and you will be given back change in the local currency. So consider maybe a few euros for the first part of the journey, and then I would say exchange the florins and the koruna locally once you arrive in Hungary and in the Czech Republic. And again, as I mentioned before, Hildrun can assist with that. Exchange some euros from home, maybe consider putting an amount aside for the gratuities to your tour guide, that's Hildrun, and for the motor coach drivers that we have on the pre and the post part of the journey. We have some recommendations below. Note that the gratuities to the cruise director and the crew on board your AMA Waterways cruise is included in your package from our side. So you do not need to tip anyone on board the ship, except for the step-on guides on the local shore excursion tours that you will be joining for sure. And those are just a couple of euros per person per day. So jumping down to the gratuities. Oh, maybe I should just go back and mention one thing. Some public restrooms, we have mentioned this as well under the currency, requires a coin, maybe 50 cents in euros or €1 to use their restrooms. If you do not have coins available, again, Hildrun is with you all the time. She can assist you with that. So do not worry or stress about anything that's got to do with smaller coins, exchanging money. Hildrun is there to assist you. For gratuities, as I mentioned, during the cruise managers and the crew on board are included. The gratuities are included in your package. So what you maybe would want to consider tipping guides for the step-on guides during your shore excursions and the motor coach drivers. And there are some hints here for what we suggest that you do. Step-on guides, €2 to €3 per person per excursion. That's fine. And we have them during the AMA Waterway shore excursions. And we also have step-on guides in Prague for our city tour. We have to split the group in two because we are a lot of people walking together. So we have two step-on guides and we'll kind of walk in two separate groups, of course, doing the same thing and seeing the same sights. The recommendations are listed here. In Europe, don't sweat it. It's not like in the States where we have a tipping policy of 20, 25, sometimes even 30%. 10% in Europe is adequate, even less, even just rounding up to the nearest euro, or 10% for any services if you have to take a cab or if you are at a restaurant or a cafe on your own. Don't worry, don't stress about gratuities. It's not a big thing at all. So take it easy on that. And you can always ask Hildrun, of course, as well. We have included porterets in your on your trip. So you'll get help with your suitcase. The one big bag per person is included and taken care of from our side. If you need more help, €1 or €2 in Munich is fine, or just a few korunas in the Czech Republic and Prague. When you leave and you need help maybe with bags, it's adequate, it's more than enough. The weather, it's spring in Europe at this time where you're traveling. It's hard to say, and with the climate changes, everything, the weather in Europe tends to be warmer than it's ever been before. And we have 5 countries, of course, that we're traveling through. So the average, low 45, high 60, some showers. It's springtime, maybe a few degrees cooler. Up in the north is Prague. That's our most northern point of the journey. But these should be the average temperatures. One thing that's easy, at least, is the time zone. 7 hours ahead of Central Time in all 5 countries. done. So that's an easy one. You will be 7 hours ahead of your family members, friends in the United States, wherever you are on this journey. Another thing to bear in mind is the electricity. It's different in Europe than it is in the United States. In Europe, all the electrical systems, they run on 220 volts, while in the US we're running on 110. So you need two things. You need an adapter and you need a converter. The adapter is to be able to plug in your square 2 feet prongs, US appliances prongs, into the outlets in the wall in Europe. Europe has a rounded 2 prongs. So you need an adapter for that, and you also need a converter to convert the 110 volts to 220. Those adapter converters comes in like 1 unit nowadays, and the cost of those are approximately $40. They can be bought at any CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, at the airports. At the airports too, be aware that, of course, a little higher priced, because this is usually where people think, oh, I forgot my adapter converter. So they will charge you a little more for that. Should you completely forget, the hotels, wherever you are, for sure will have an adapter converter that you can borrow. Just go down to the lobby and ask for it, and I'm sure that they will be able to help you. If you purchase your own, which we of course recommend, it might be a good idea to purchase an adapter converter that has more than just like one input. So usually you would want to charge more than one phone or one device. So make sure that you have an adapter converter that allows you to charge more than one device, or go ahead and maybe purchase an additional little power strip with more plugins, so that you have the ability of charging more than just one cell phone. It's a good idea also if you take a lot of photos with your phone, which I do. I use my phone any longer as a camera. Maybe consider to bring a power bank, because of course taking lots of pictures will drain your battery on the phone. So a power bank could be a good idea to bring along as well. All hotel rooms and also your stateroom, the cabin on board Amalia, has hair dryers. Want to point that out. There is a restriction of using curling irons on board the Ama Waterways cruise ship. Curling irons and iron boards can all be borrowed. Just contact the cruise manager and the cruise reception area and borrow a curling iron. They're not allowed to be used on board. You can bring them on board, of course, if you have them with you. Just don't plug them in. There is a restriction there. So we have not highlighted it, but it is mentioned here in red letters. Charging stations on board motor coaches cannot be guaranteed. So again, maybe a power bank would be a good idea for you to bring along, and so you're able to charge your phone for taking lots of pictures along the days. Using your cell phone is a different story as well. Just as the electricity is different, it's also different to when you use your cell phone. It can be pretty pricey if you just go on the normal roaming system. So what we recommend is to speak to your provider. Super necessary. Just like you call your bank and let them know that you're traveling abroad, also call your cell phone provider and let them know that you're traveling abroad. It's important because the first, of course, phone call from the other side of the pond will trigger a, oops, what's going on here? You may receive a text message saying, is that you using your phone? Or they could even shut down the phone because they think the phone is stolen. So make sure that you call your provider. When you do that, ask them about their international data plan. I'm running on Verizon. Verizon has a fantastic plan, $10 a day. I can use my phone unlimited. I can download, upload, check emails, read my newspapers, anything I want to do on my phone. And once I have the data plan, it's running on a secure network. So one thing as well with the international plan, which we think is the most important thing, is that if you have an international plan, of course, you will activate it once you arrive in Germany. We will be able to contact you at any time, and you will be able to contact Rhonda and Hildrun at any time. If you choose to run on Wi-Fi only, you can. It's fine. Wi-Fi is provided at all hotels, public places. It's also provided on board your cruise ship. But once you leave the coverage of a Wi-Fi, you will be on your own if you don't have a data plan. Meaning, if you're out walking around and you suddenly have an emergency situation, or you just want to call Hildrun or Rhonda, or we have an important message to give you and you are not on a data plan, we won't be able to reach you. So there is a risk of you not being aware of some changes in a program. So we highly, highly recommend that you speak to your provider and see if you can purchase that plan for the international data. If you have an international data plan and you run on the safety network, you can also check your statements with your bank. You can do bank transactions without worrying about it. So it's definitely worth checking out. And now we come to the part of the plus sign. So once you are in Europe, if you want to connect with people at home, you need to make an international call. And that triggers the +1. 1 is the country code for North America. So all phone numbers that you're dialing, you would have to put the +1 in front of the actual number. Sometimes it can be hard to find the plus sign on your phone. It's if you hold down 0 for like a second or two, the plus sign will appear. So +1 for North America. A good thing to do maybe before you even leave is to add the +1 in front of the numbers that you know that you will be communicating with during the trip. Even if you use a Wi-Fi network and you don't have an international plan, and you communicate with your friends, sending them pictures or anything via Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp or whatever, you would need that +1 for the photos to go through. So go into your phone, look at your phone book at where you store your phone numbers, and add that +1 in front of the numbers that you know that you will be using. And also for Rhonda, of course, Rhonda Wagner's phone number, your host, very important that you have a connection with Rhonda at all times if necessary. And you can also enter, of course, Hildrun's information. It's listed on those 3 pages of contact information. So add those into your phone with the plus number in front of it. Translations apps, smart idea as well, Google Translate or Duolingo, 2 apps that we recommend using when you are in Europe. In almost all places, you will find people speaking perfectly fine English. But just in case you're out with the locals and you want to say something, translate something, we recommend that you download those 2 apps to your phone. I believe that Google Translate actually even works on a Wi-Fi network, or even without being connected to any network. So it works offline. It's a very smart thing to use. For safety, we really don't have anything to tell you. Do not worry. Use common sense. 2 things maybe. Make sure you never walk around with your wallet in your back pocket. Have you heard that before? And when you're out in public places eating or at a cafe or just enjoying a cup of coffee or a beer, do not hang your purse or anything on the chair behind you. Make sure that you have an eye on your belongings at all times. And that's also actually at airports, in any places where there are lots of people gathered. Just make sure that you have an eye on your belongings. That's the most important thing. In crowded areas, in cities like big cities, capitals in Europe, can be anywhere, Vienna, Prague, Budapest, Munich. Pickpockets, of course, it's their heaven. So make sure that you just have your things on you. maybe use our lanyard to store your money. Inside, you can have them under your shirt or have a crossbody bag that you have in front of you. No backpacks at the back that can be unzipped without you even realizing. Have everything in front of you and have an eye on them. I want to mention as well at this point about passports. We usually get a question about, do I need to bring my passport with me every time I'm out and about? And you really don't. So use the safe boxes at the hotels or on the cruise ship to store your passport. If you want to bring your passport, we recommend you just take a photocopy of your passport and carry that around with you. Never the actual passport. You don't need it. So just a little hint here about that. We usually get that question. Drinking water. So tap water, yes, can be, you can drink tap water in all the countries you are visiting. It may taste a little different than at home. You can also purchase bottled waters at very few euros, sometimes even just 50 cents to €1 for a bottle of water. During your cruise, you will have purified and bottled water replenished in your stateroom every day. And we will also make sure that you can purchase bottled water on the motor coaches on the pre and the post tour. So just at €1 a bottle. And Hildren will make sure that we have water provided. But you can also drink tap water, and there will be refilling stations in many, many cities that you are visiting. So it shouldn't be a problem. Keep hydrated. Most important thing, of course. Our little Let's Socialize speaks about the lanyards. As I mentioned in the very beginning of this meeting, please make sure that you wear your lanyards, especially on the traveling days. It really makes it so much easier for all of us to recognize each other. And then we've also created a photo sharing link. It's called Drop Event, and it's really a great way to share your super shots of the sites that you're seeing with your fellow travelers. It's a closed private link. It's only provided to the travelers on this tour. You can use the link that we have here, click on it to enter it, or you can simply take a photo and scan the QR code that we have here. All you need to do is to enter your email address, and then you are ready to upload and download photos. So share with your fellow travelers. It's just a great idea to have fun, especially when you come back home. Don't stress about it maybe during the trip, but when you come back home and you have some nice pictures that you'd like to share with everyone else, you can use the Drop Event link that we provide here. Our packaging checklist. Some things are obvious, maybe some are not, but generally speaking, for the dress code, let's mention that first. Casual to casual elegant, casual elegant on board the cruise ship. Maybe pack a little pair of dressier shoes than what you had planned for all the walks and all the excursions that we're doing together. Very important is, of course, your walking shoes have a good grip. Tennis shoes may not always be the ideal thing because they kind of are flat at the bottom. So if there is a little mist in the air or you have a little sprinkle a day or two, they can be slick to walk around with. But a good walking shoe with a good grip is important. And then maybe just one pair of little dressier shoes for the captain's dinner on board the cruise. That's all that's required. And really, it's totally okay to be casual during the entire trip. It's more up to you. Some people like to dress up a little bit more. Why not? Why not? It's an opportunity. The cruise is such a nice opportunity to just wear some nice outfits during the dinners and just relax during the days and the shore excursions. When you're entering churches, of course, that's a place of worship. So, dress properly. Now, this is the time of the year where you probably won't wear shorts or sleeveless shirts. But just saying, just out of respect for the people who may be worshiping, wear something proper when you visit a church. We recommend a few things here highlighted in yellow. So a travel umbrella, actually maybe a raincoat with a hood, or these emergency one-time use ponchos as a smarter thing to use than walking around with an umbrella. That's up to you. The walking shoes, we mentioned them. Washcloths, we use in Europe. It's a thing here that's just different from the United States. Is a sponge, a type of a sponge that we use. So if you love your washcloths, bring a package of those one-time use and use and throw out. For safety and security, the passport, of course, credit cards, the cash if you exchange money ahead of time. COVID vaccination card if you are vaccinated. Personally, I carry my vaccination card with me just as my passport. I have not been asked to show it anywhere at any time for the last at least 2 years. So, okay, if you don't bring it, it's fine. It's not required. Make sure, though, an important thing is the PIN code for your credit cards. You will need a PIN code. So when you speak with the bank, when you talk to them and let them know that you're traveling abroad, just make sure that you have and you remember the PIN code. Never write it down, of course. Try to memorize it. It's important to bring that. In your carry-on, medication, important. Always in the carry-on, never in the check bags, just in case it gets lost or delayed. And then a power bank, anything that's got to do with batteries should be in your carry-on, never in the checked-in baggage. The last thing on this page is the most important thing, to bring your good traveler's attire. So we have a rule that we call the no grumpiness rule. And it is all about having a great attitude, all of us, when we travel together. It's never to foresee what's going to happen on a trip. Travel by nature can trigger some unforeseen situations. Have a good humoristic sense, have fun. If there is anything that bugs you during the journey, let us know. This is what we really, really ask you to do. Approach Rhonda, approach Hildrun, let them know if there is anything that's not the way that you had imagined. It could be, yesterday they didn't provide me with that extra pillow. I didn't sleep well because I didn't have a nice pillow. It can be anything. If there is anything you're not happy with, talk to us during the trip. We cannot fix it when you come back home. So let us know, because our goal is for everyone to have the best time ever. That's what we aim for. So if there's anything we can help you with during the trip, you gotta let us know. All right, TSA travel tips. Next page here. As I mentioned before, for the liquids, there is a limitation of how much liquid you can bring on board an airplane. And TSA has a rule that they call the 3-1-1. So 3 ounces, actually it's 3.4, but 3 ounces, 3.4 ounces is the maximum of fluid that you can bring on board. You're allowed to have 1/4 size of a bag with you for your carry-on liquids, whatever else you have that you want to bring on board is limited to 1/4 size bag. Now there's always an exception. This does not include medication. If you have medication that, of course, takes more space than what you can fill into 1/4 size of a bag, you are allowed to bring as many as you want. But for things like cologne, perfumes, toothpaste, even though it's a thick thing, it's considered being liquid. So if you want to brush your teeth, you have a long journey, and you have these little travel sizes of a toothpaste, that's what needs to go into that one bag as well. But if you have medication and you need more than that, supplements or whatever, you are allowed to bring more than one bag. Just separate it and make sure that medication is separated from the rest of your carry-on liquids. What else should I mention here? Let me think. Okay, so if you have, when you bring medication on board, it's very important that it is labeled with the exact what's in your container. If you travel with supplements that tend to be in bigger containers and you want to size them down to something smaller, you can do that. Just ask a pharmacist to label it so that the TSA personnel can see what is in it. The rule is that it needs to be in the original containers labeled. If you go into smaller sizes of containers, make sure it's labeled from a pharmacist so that everyone can see what's in there if you get checked. Comfort on airplanes and avoiding jet lag here at the bottom of the page. The most important thing is just to keep hydrated. I believe you have a long journey before you reach Munich on the outbound, and leaving Prague, getting back to Omaha is also a longer journey. Keep hydrated. Make sure that you drink plenty of water. Make sure that you move around when you have a layover. Walk a little bit to get the blood circulation going, but stay hydrated, folks. That's the most important thing. And yes, it can be annoying to have to go to the restroom on the planes, but at that time as well, you get up and you circulate your blood a little bit. It's not actually a bad thing. Make sure that you drink plenty of water. That's our most important hint here. You are allowed to bring 2 carry-on bags on board the planes. So you have, first of all, 1 suitcase up to 50 pounds. That's included in your airline ticket, checked in free. And then you're allowed to bring 2 pieces of carry-on on board. Now, it's actually smarter if you just bring 1, because guess what? The carry-on is what you carry yourself. And that is also, the same applies for when you arrive in Europe. Your carry-on is what you take care of. We'll take care of your suitcase at the hotels. We'll make sure it gets up to your room, but you have to carry your carry-on on your own. So maybe consider a smaller stroller bag where you can collapse and fold down a backpack or a crossbody bag for items that you purchase once you are in Europe and you want to travel back and you have more souvenirs than when you left the US. But try to minimize it. That's the most important thing. Minimize what you need to carry yourself to as less as possible. Just our recommendation, because you will be taking care of this during the entire journey on your own. If you purchase some goods and souvenirs, small or bigger, in Europe, and there is a VAT tax return program that you can join. And we recommend that you take a look at this before you leave. The Global Blue is an organization that provides you with an easier VAT tax refund system. So when you return from Prague, you'd have to go to the VAT tax return office and claim all your purchases that you have bought during the trip from a certain minimum amount of money. Now, you have 5 different countries, and of course, to make it easy, every country has a different minimum amount of purchasing something for this VAT tax return to kick in. So take a look at this page if you plan on purchasing souvenirs, I would say above $70, $75, $100. It really varies country from country. We have all the links here that you can follow them. But go ahead and maybe download even the app of Global Blue so that you are ready and it doesn't take you too long to claim the VAT upon your return from Prague. Hildren can explain more about it once you are there, but the general rule is if you shop and you are above the minimum amount, you have to keep the receipt, of course, and the receipt has to be stamped by the shop, or some shops have a special form they fill out for you, and that's the form that you need when you claim the tax at the airport in Prague. So it's a little time-consuming maybe prior to leaving, but it's worth it. The VAT tax return is in most of the countries above 20%, between 20 and 25. So that's a good saving if you purchase something of a higher amount. So consider that and look through this page. If you have any questions, Hildren on the spot is happy to assist you and explain more in details, even though the links here that we have included will give you a good idea of what this is all about. We have included an attendee list in your documents. This will just show you a last name and a first name, where your fellow travelers live, and which airport they are leaving from. So you can see who is more or less traveling with you. From Omaha, we have a few travelers from Des Moines and Minneapolis, and some travelers are meeting us all in Munich upon arrival on the 21st of March. There's a blank page for your notes, for your own notes here during this. If you need to write anything down, feel free to use that page. And then I'm jumping into a couple of pages that are not included in your travel documents, but I want to go over them just at least briefly. So the next pages in your documents will be the copy of your e-ticket. The airline ticket is now electronic tickets only, electronical tickets. We don't have a hard copy anymore. That's not provided. So you will see some pages with the itinerary and your record locator. We have taken care of your seating. If you have any doubts about seating, if you want to change anything, please give us a call. Again, as I mentioned in the very beginning of this recording, don't start clicking on, going online, trying to change anything, not even your seating. We are in risk of losing the entire group reservation. So call us if you have doubts about seating. If you don't understand something about your airline tickets, give us a call. It's really important not to touch the record locator. Once you check in at the airport, we always recommend that you check in at the check-in counters, not at the machines, because you have to show your physical passport, as I mentioned before as well. Once you get your boarding pass, make sure that your known travelers numbers are listed on the boarding pass, and that is your TSA pre-check global entry number, and also ask the airline if they have registered your frequent flyer number if you are a part of the Delta frequent flyers. Make sure that they see that number in their system. If you have reported it to us, 500% guaranteed, Lisette with our air department has entered those numbers, but they can fall off in the procedure of the airline's reconfiguration of an aircraft. Anything that they do at the back end that we are not in control of can trigger that these type of numbers, they're not there anymore. So it's very frustrating to get to the counter and I told Executive Travel about my TSA pre-check number. I thought they had it and they say, no, we can't see it. Make sure that you double check. It is, it's something that is out of our control. So we ask you that you just check all this upon check-in at the counter at your airport where you start your journey. Make sure also that your TSA pre-check number is listed on the boarding pass. At Omaha Airport, you know, you go upstairs and then you go through TSA. And there is, of course, at every airport a line for TSA pre-check passengers and the regular line. If you have TSA pre-check and it's not listed on your boarding pass, you'll be asked to go all the way down to the check-in counters again, get new boarding passes, and then go upstairs again to check in. So to go through TSA. So make sure that you see it on your physical boarding pass. You see the TSA pre-check is listed there. It's important. For the departure times, we are always ahead of time, and we are starting flight following you 48 hours before you even depart. But if you want to check your departure time, the easiest thing is to download the airline's app and just check your departure time there. You can enter the flight number and it will tell you if it's scheduled on time, if there is a delay. Even if there is a delay of your flight, say from the first airport that you start your journey in, Be there on the time that you're supposed to travel. Be there 2 hours ahead of time. Those 2 hours are super important. Give yourself time. There can be longer lines. Check-in can take longer than estimated. There can be all sorts of reasons for, a delay. So make sure that you are 2 hours ahead of time at the airport. Check the departure time, but even if there is a delay, don't say, great, I can stay at home for half an hour longer, an hour longer. No, that doesn't work that way. You've got to be at the airport for the time of the original departure of your aircraft. If we see anything that we need to notify you about, we will. We'll also be in contact, of course, with Rhonda and Hildren nonstop, so do not worry about it. We'll inform you if we see that there is anything that you need to know ahead of time, and we are following you all the way to Munich, and the same for the return as well from Prague. The next couple of pages, if you have purchased insurance with us, we have included a copy of your Travel X or Allianz insurance. They should be listed here. If you don't see them and you believe that you have purchased insurance, again, give us a call so we can check. Maybe we just quoted the insurance for you and we finally didn't purchase it because we didn't hear back from you. If you have any doubts, please give us a call. The team is ready and we can assist you up to the very last moment as well with insurance. So the last many pages of your documents are the documents that we have received from AMA Waterways. I'm not going to go through all of it because most of the facts that are listed here are the exact same things as I have spoken about. So currency, electricity, all those kind of things we've gone over already. So I'm not going to mention them again. There are just a few things I want to point out, and that is the online cruise check-in. AMA Waterways do require that all travelers check in online, and we have provided you with with your reservation number, AMA Waterways reservation number, and you go online. We have the link for you. It's been provided in an email that you have received from us. You must go online and check in and also pick your shore excursions. If you haven't already done this when you are receiving this recorded document handout meeting, make sure that you do go online, you do check in, and you pick your shore excursions. It's very important. We have listed the medical dietary restrictions that we have received from you. AMA Waterways is already notified. If you forgot to let us know about something, get back to us and let us know. It's important, of course, that we know about it so that we can assist with it. I'm going to jump into a couple of pages here. So your booking summary, you will have a page with your name listed, your cruise listed, you'll see your stateroom number, etc., etc. Everything is so automatically done when you arrive and you embark on the cruise ship. Hildren, your tour guide, has been on these ships before. She knows the exact procedure, and once you step on board, guaranteed is that AMA Waterways will carry you through, and everything will be fine. But there are just a couple of pages here that are important for you. So page 27 here is your booking summary. And then what I'm going to jump into is page, let's see here, 40, I think it is, where we start. Oops, nope, I am so sorry. I'm just going to go through here. The detailed itinerary is good for you, of course, to know. Also, you will see here included like all the shore excursions that you can pick from. That's a lot of pages, up to you to pick and choose. And of course, register for them online during the check-in process, maybe is where you want to do that. So you get it all done at once. Those are all listed here. The rest of it, the tips and informations, are things that I have already gone through. Don't need to mention that again. When you are checking out from the cruise the day before the disembarkation, so that will be Friday, March 28th, the crew on board will approach you, and you will be able to pay for any extras that you've had during the cruise. Maybe you purchase something at the gift shop, maybe you purchase something extra on board. You will be able to pay that the night before you disembark. So all that is taken care of before the morning of disembarkation. We also have a special dinner. We have the chef's table arranged for you. And due to the size of the cruise ship, and it's a smaller one, which is fantastic. It's all everyone's benefit, of course. We have split the group in two to fit at the chef's table. So we have March 25th and March 26th assigned for us, and you will be notified of what time and what day is your dinner for the chef's table. That's all going to happen once you embark on board the cruise ship. I think that is more or less everything. I'm flipping through here a lot of things that, you know, you may question, but most of it, I would guarantee you 99% of it, I've already gone through it. One thing maybe to mention is laundry. Laundry is available at all the hotels you're staying at, so in Munich and of course also in Prague, but also during the cruise. There will be a small fee applied to laundry services, but it is available. So that's a question that we're often asked. I want to mention that before I wrap up here. So you can definitely get help with that on board the cruise ship as well. I think that's all I have for you folks for today. Thank you for joining. Always remember you can reach us at any time if you have any questions. Never, never, never hesitate to give us a phone call. We're always available. If you have any questions, if there is something you want to clarify, and especially, again, I want to mention it one more time, do not check in online for your airlines, for your flights. If there's anything flight related you want to change or just verify, you must give us a call. So Lisette is ready to help you at any time. Her phone number, her direct line is mentioned on the contact pages here in the documents. Never hesitate to call and ask us anything. So thank you for joining, and have a wonderful journey. Everyone, I'll be following you from A to Z, and enjoy Hildren, enjoy Rhonda as well. I know you're going to be on a fairy tale journey. It's going to be fabulous. Thank you so much from me and Executive Travel. Bye.